Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the
Trae.
day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to the start of a great week and a magnificent Monday. Really excited. We got AP Diaz in the building, Superintendent of Seattle Parks and Rec. We're going to be talking all about their program, Seattle Swim. Excited to dive into it. Literally, you get that? All right. Also, really excited to have Dr. Georgia McDade in the building, one of the co-founders of the African American Writers Alliance. We're going to be talking all about their upcoming Genius Conference, and I'm excited to talk with her later on in the show. But y'all know it is the top of the show right now, so it's a perfect time to tag and share this stream right here. You are participating in our growth here on the Day with Trae. Thank you so much for that. Go ahead and tag and share this stream with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. If you can't watch our TV show, we definitely have you covered because you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find me on whichever platform is your favorite, y'all. There's like 200 of them. So whichever one you love already, just go ahead and search that one and you'll find us there. Well, I just want to get going here because it's exciting. So up next, we got AP Diaz in the building, learning all about Seattle Swim. I need to hear more. What's up, AP? How are you?
Hey, Trae, how are you? Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah, thanks for coming through. And you know, this is really exciting because anytime we got folks from the city, I know we're getting the details that we need to share with community. And before we dive into the program, I'd love to ask about you and your background. What got you into the role of Superintendent of Seattle Parks?
Thank you so much. You know, I love parks. I think that parks and recreation is just a great way to connect with community. It's the place where people come together. Parks are often people's backyards and spaces and living rooms, and it's the site of so many gatherings and wonderful things. And I just love the health and wellness and the benefits it provides. And so for me, being able to lead such a wonderful park system here in Seattle is really a dream come true.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think across the country, you know, we talk about the Evergreen State and the Emerald City, all these things, right? Just really are showcasing our luscious greenery throughout the state. But obviously, Seattle is the biggest known city of Washington State. So there's a lot of eyes on our parks. So I'm glad that you have that passion and love for parks in the role that you're doing. Now, this is kind of exciting, too, because I think anytime we have a program that can be geared toward folks learning, let's dive into this. Seattle Swim, what's it all about?
You know, really what it is looking at our city, and our city is so magnificent for all the reasons you just said, but at the end of the day, we're a city of water. You look at the map, there's water to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back. Still today in 2024, the disproportionate amount of drownings are occurring among our Black and brown communities. This is unacceptable. Swimming is a life skill, not something that should be a nice to have or a can I afford it for my kids. It's something we have a duty to teach each person how to do. And I've heard so many heart-wrenching stories about kids, even today, that are going on a boating trip, going to someone's house, falling into a pool, and they're dying. We have kids that are dying today. And so we have to stop this trend. And what my research has showed me is that this lack of swimming sometimes becomes generational. And what I mean is that some of the things that new parents love to do when they have kids is to sign up for a mommy and me or a daddy and me class. They go to the pool, it's bonding, it's fun, and that's the beginning of a swim journey. But for many people, if you've never even learned how to swim, the water is a fearful thing. And some people can't even put their foot in the water. So they're missing out on that experience and then not able to teach their children how to swim and oftentimes lack resources or access to pools. And so Swim Seattle is all about removing barriers and teaching every single child in this city to know how to swim.
Well, this is really important, not only because of the disproportionate rates that we're experiencing when it comes to folks knowing how to swim, but you are right. I mean, we are surrounded by water, and I think there's something that we really have to break the myth on around, hey, well, as long as I have a life jacket, well, as long as this or that, there's a need for you to fundamentally understand how to protect yourself around bodies of water in a way that really starts to limit these drownings that we're experiencing here throughout our state. So I really appreciate that kind of intentionality that Parks is having. What type of ways are y'all utilizing to make sure community is aware of this program?
So we're trying to get the word out as much as possible, and we hope to grow this program. Right now, it's based on scholarships, and our goal is to make it free for everyone. Right now, our capacity is limited, so we're trying to outreach as many communities as we can, get the information out, especially in the summer when our pools are open for summer season, getting families in to sign up for swim lessons. I've also learned that there are two types of swimming skills you need to know. There's ocean swimming, pool swimming, and lake swimming.
Yeah.
And all of them require a unique skill set, and that's what we want to teach the kids. And you mentioned something too. Kids are adventurous, which they should be. Kids love to have opportunities, and sometimes they think, well, I can do it if I just have that jacket on, or I'll be okay. I still remember a story. I'm Latino, I'm Mexican American. I had a cousin named Steven who went away on a family trip with some neighbors, went camping, and Steven never came back because he fell in a lake and he drowned. I can't tell you how many people I've met still today. If I'm talking to someone from a Black or brown community, it is likely they have a Steven story. They know someone in their family that has drowned, even today in 2024. And that's what we're trying to stop, is preventing those drownings by offering these free swim lessons and encouraging as many people as possible to come out. And then I have a message too for any companies or sponsors in this city. If you have a story like that and you want to teach a child how to swim and can fund this program, we would love to have your partnership.
Yeah, this is important too, but it's also a great opportunity for folks to get engaged and get involved. And I think it's just as much of a niche a bit where it's like, oh, wait, now that makes total sense. I can spend some dollars there. I can spend some time or energy there. And you actually understand the benefit of your energy or input, right? Exactly. And some things are really broad, and sometimes you don't really know, like when you're donating or when you're trying to figure out, right? You don't really know where it goes. But to have a very strong, direct link to real results by producing more and more folks who know how to handle these different bodies of water, but also, you're pouring into an effort that really is benefiting those who sometimes we know in Black and brown communities have been left behind and have been marginalized, right? So this is really important to have this kind of target. Also, I just want to say, when you talk about having different skill sets for different bodies of water, that is something that is not known to folks. Right. So they think if I can swim in a chlorine safe pool, right, I'm good in all bodies of water. But that's not true, right?
It's not true. And, I didn't know that myself. I'm new to this area and learning again about all the lakes and the sound and the channels and the currents. You're right. There's this myth and perception, well, if I know how to swim a little bit, I should be okay. And again, the amount of drownings that we're having in Lake Washington, we had some last summer. What's really sad too is sometimes when we're talking about this generational problem is that I've read and heard these stories, and I'm sure your listeners have too. It's, grandma might be taking care of watching the kids, and a kid falls into a pool or to a body of water. Well, what's your first reaction? Of course, like a parent, a grandparent, you're just going to jump in without even thinking to save that person. And then tragically, sometimes you lose both lives. Mm-hmm. So you're right, it's that skill set. And we also want to get, older folks learning how to swim. It's never too late. And there are therapeutic benefits too. We all know when we get older, things like hiking and running or bicycling, those can be hard on our joints. There's so many wonderful classes for seniors and to stay active and healthy. And so, but again, if you're too afraid to even get in the pool, you're not going to avail yourself of those programs. And we want everybody to be healthy.
Yeah, I mean, this is so true. There's also like these stories about lake waters and how all of the greenery there. You know, you got vines down there oftentimes. And I think that, you know, like one of the things that I learned was, you know, unfortunately, one of the big things that causes drowning is panic.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I think that it's important to also kind of talk about that, because if you're in a body of water and something happens, you start panicking, you're already not preparing yourself to be able to take the next steps in terms of your thought. Tell us about how this program is addressing that concern.
Yes, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because it is true. And so our classes are focused on, in fact, on the 18th of May at Rainier Beach Pool, we're going to have a big water safety day, talking about all kinds of things and having experts educate on this very thing that you talked about. But you're right, in the lake, it seems beautiful and tranquil on the top, but there are a lot of things below that can pull people in, that can get murky, and teaching people to calm in situations of fright is really important, because if you can calm your body a little bit to learn how to stay afloat, to give a signal for help, you know, thankfully, maybe there will be somebody around that will come and help you. But those seconds are critical when you find yourself in danger, to sometimes just take a breath, you know, learn how to use your jacket if you have one on, or float, or just tread water for a little bit. But oftentimes the fear and panic of something so dramatic can really just literally take you under.
It accelerates everything else, right, in the body. Your blood's pumping. So this is exciting. It sounds like this is really going to be launching. You have some things you're doing, obviously, in the spring, but summertime is a big deal for this program. What kind of goals do y'all have for this program? What are y'all looking to do?
So first of all, we're looking to first just raise awareness, to tell more people about this, and to get people to be honest. You know, that's another thing. A lot of adults have some shame if they say they don't know how to swim. I've been in some very safe spaces and with some very high level people in this city that when we're talking, I'll get them to finally, or they will on their own raise their hand and say, you know what? I don't know how to swim. You would never think that, because this person is successful in so many ways, has been educated, has gotten the job, done all the right things in life, and we just assume that somewhere you're going to learn how to swim. And so, first of all, it's just getting that awareness that it's okay to talk about it, demystifying the shame. Hey, and let's find solutions. There's a lot of areas. So we have the pools, we have instructors, and that's what we want to do, start inviting people, reminding them about safety, how it really is important to keep an eye on your kids at all times around water, because it can happen so fast. And then really just be able to show success stories by getting people who know how to swim. And then hopefully someone will come back and say, you know, I'd love to help someone learn how to swim too.
Yeah, absolutely. Passing it down. Well, of course, AP Diaz, this is a great conversation. I'm so glad you were here today. I want you to be able to give folks the information they need if they do feel that they have that financial need to take these courses, or they want to help share the information. Look right there. Let folks know how they tap in.
If you want to learn more about Swim Seattle, please come to our Seattle Parks website, which is www.seattleparks.gov. And you can also search for Swim Seattle, and you'll be directed to areas about the scholarships and the upcoming programs.
Absolutely. AP Diaz, Superintendent of Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Trae.
Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow, y'all. What a great start to our Monday and our week, getting some information we can all use. And I'm really excited because after this short break, we got Dr. Georgia McDade in the building. We're going to be talking all things African American Writers Alliance and their upcoming Genius Conference. Y'all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
looking for laughs? Looking for love? Fast Talking Figaro has got you covered. Toe-tapping melodies, lively staging, and colorful costumes. Don't miss The Barber of Seville, May 4th through 19th at McCall Hall. Tickets at seattleopera.org.
What's up, everybody? Trae Holiday here with a special announcement. Something sexy for the city is coming to our town, Tacoma Dome, May 3rd. You want to get your tickets today because you want to see Ashanti, Monica, Maya, Kiki Wyatt, and Anne Marie. Y'all, I have the pleasure of emceeing this phenomenal concert. Join me and get your tickets today for an epic performance from these R&B divas.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Dr. Georgia McDade. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, so glad you're here with me today. I've heard great things about you, and I get to start with you being a co-founder of the African American Writers Alliance. Tell us what got you into books, into writing. Give us a little bit of your history.
Okay, first, I don't call myself a co-founder. I call myself a charter member.
Nice.
I've written probably all my life. I do not recall when I could not write. I had an elder sister and an elder brother who taught me all these things before I started school. But Randy Eddins, who is the founder of the African American Writers Alliance, which we usually call AWA, put an ad in the Seattle Times asking writers of African descent to meet at Langston Hughes. A friend of mine called and invited me to go. And I said, oh, okay. But I thought she was going, so I said, okay. I got there. She was not there. I called, wanted to know where it happened to you. Where were you? She said, oh, you write so much better than I do. I never planned to go. I just wanted you to go. And so that was February 1991, and we've been going ever since.
Wow.
And presently we have, I think it's 40-some members. I don't think it's 50 yet, but it's over 40 members. And we're working on our 7th anthology. We expect to have it out by the conference, which is June 7th and 8th. But we've just had a great time. At least 200, maybe 300 people have passed through AWA since its beginning. I say people come, get what they want, and many stay, and others get what they want and leave. But the organization just keeps going. We've done, you name it, we've probably read there. Elementary schools, kindergartens, middle school, high school, college, graduate school, churches, taverns, I don't know. Anybody who invites us, somebody can go. And sometimes it's one of us, other times it's 2 or 3 or 4 of us. We go to a number of art galleries where the owners invite us to come look at the art, and then we write about the art. And we have been going to Elliott Bay every year since 1992. We've gone to Elliott Bay longer than any other group. And that's a record. It's only once a year, but we still have that record. We go to Onyx. I think we've been going there since about 2009. We read at Columbia City Branch Library during the pandemic. We switched, like so many organizations, to Zoom. But the past 2 months, we've done a hybrid. And I've been very pleased at the number of people who are excited about coming back to Columbia Branch. So now you can tune in on Zoom, or you can join us at Columbia Branch. And we read at Third Place Books on Seward Park Avenue. And then there are a number of other places in between. We're working. We have a number of partners. We do a number of programs, different places.
This is phenomenal because, I mean, you just gave us such a great synopsis of all the things that African American Writers Alliance, AWA, really is doing, not only to stay plugged into community, but also you're there as a beacon for other writers. And so I want to talk about how, you know, folks come in, when you were talking about folks coming in getting what they need. I mean, this is really a space to kind of hone in on the ideas you may have about a book or, you know, poetry or whatever else, and really get guidance. Tell us about that kind of mentorship that y'all offer as well.
That is so special to me, so special. I taught English for over 30 years, and I just don't think there's anything like writing. If you ask me the most important invention ever, I will always say the printing press. Mm-hmm. And I say that because it allowed people everywhere to have access. You know, before the printing press, only, well, for the most part, the religious people had access to reading. And so they could tell us what they wanted. That's why we had the stained glass windows. But once the printing press put this out, we could read for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And certainly, you know, that African Americans were forbidden to learn to read and write. It's no fluke. I mean, there was a reason for all of this. So if there's a key, I think it's writing. And too often our stories have not been documented. So I have just always thought it was important to write our stories. But for the most part, I just stayed in my little group. But I was an English major at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And my senior year, we had an assignment to go home and interview the oldest person we knew. And that person was to tell us stories. And I think that was the kernel. That was the spark. And I just thought it was so fascinating. It was my grandmother. My grandmother was not a slave, but her mother was, father. And she had these stories she did not talk about very much. And I remember we talked about roots. And the worst part for roots for her was when Kunta Kinte's foot was cut off. And she could talk about it until she got there. And then something happened. There was this wall. She would not go beyond that. And it just hurt me that she couldn't talk about it. But I understood she could not talk about it. And I just thought, there are all of these stories out there, and we've lost these stories. So I have become a roving reporter trying to get people to tell their stories. And I always say it doesn't matter how well, how poor you write, somebody can help you write, but you have to put the story down. And one of Randy's favorite phrases was without center. You write it, you tell it your way. And if it needs to be fixed in any kind of way, somebody can do that. But you tell the story, and you tell the story your way. So I try my best to get little kids to tell stories and older people to tell stories. And then, of course, get these stories published. And that's why the anthologies are so important to me, because it's a record. You know, I wanted an anthology every year. So far, we have not succeeded in getting one every year, but we've done 7. Yeah. And I think that's a good record. Yeah. We're going to do better, but we've done 7. And of the 40 plus members, I counted recently, we have published over 80 books. Wow. Just think about that. And I can recall a person in Seattle saying that there were 5 Black writers in Seattle. And that was a number of years ago, but it still hurts. It wasn't true then. Yeah. It's probably never true. Yeah. But that's the number this person knew. And this person had a platform and could make a statement like that. I never, ever want anybody else to make any such statement. And at the pace AY is going now, nobody ever will.
I know that's right.
Always do this. Always write and get others to write. And this is everywhere. This is why we go to all of these schools. I encourage people to do journals. And this is at the church. I mean, we do Vacation Bible School. We do a summer program. And I'm always talking about write a journal, keep a record. You don't have to do it every day, although that's good. I went on a 6-month trip around the world. I kept a journal. The journal's in the computer. I'm hoping to get the time soon to get this published because there are just so many places. So many people have never been, will never go. But other people will read it and say, you know, I want to check this out.
Yeah.
This is worth doing. And it's nothing like reading.
Yeah.
There are all of these places you can go when you read, and you just may not be able to go physically for all kinds of reasons. But when you read, you can go. I love to say that reading broadens, sharpens, deepens our awareness of life. And if there's something the world needs, it's to have our awareness sharpened.
That's
in every
beautiful.
way, every way.
That's beautiful.
We have so many problems in the world because people are unaware.
Yeah.
And it hurts, and it hurts all of us. Some of us more than others, but it hurts all of us.
Well, you know, when you talk about it in this way, it really shows the deep concentration and commitment that AWA is making and has been making, right, all of this time. So now tell us more about the Genius Conference. I would love to hear about some of these details.
I don't remember when we started talking about a conference, but we have been talking about it a long time. And last year, we were the recipients of a wonderful grant from the Boeing Employees Credit Union. And with that money, we thought, aha, this can be the beginning. So the conference is set June 7th and 8th, and it will be held at Langston. And thanks to Langston, we have a place, we have a site, and you know how important Langston and the history, of course, of Langston Hughes is to us, to America, but especially to African Americans. And so for 2 days from 11 until 6, and it's free. Everybody should know that. We want everybody to come. You get the opportunity to meet writers. You know, we read books and we don't always get to meet writers, but you'll get to meet writers. Of course, we'll have our anthologies. Writers will have their books there. We'll have people who are not in the group there. We're looking for vendors. We're looking for sponsorships. We have spotlights. The Seattle Public Library is one of our donors, and they are sponsoring Imani and Jordan Keith, Futurism. The Seattle City Reads book is Octavia Butler's The Peril of the Sower. So there'll be workshops about that. Butler lived here in Seattle. I've forgotten how long, but she lived here a long time. As a matter of fact, AWA got to introduce, or we were first on a program. Butler was the featured writer at Red and Black Bookstore. So some of us, well, I may be the only one in the group now, got to meet Butler at Red and Black Bookstore. Wow. Never dreamed that one day we'd be using her book in our conference. So we still have space for workshops, and we certainly have space for donors and sponsorships. But we're just very excited about it. We have catered food, and as I said, it's all free. We just want people to come, participate, have fun. We want people to tell everybody everywhere. We want everybody to come, see, and share.
This sounds phenomenal.
It is.
Well,
This
is really a great culmination of all the work y'all have been doing for all this time as well. Of course, I can't let you go without you making sure the folks out there know how, if they do have sponsorship, if they want to volunteer, if they want to attend, look right here and let them know how they stay plugged into AWA.
Just go to our website. It's AAWA-Seattle.org. aawa-seattle.org. If you go there, you get to learn about us, you get to learn about the organization's mission. You may donate, but you can find out about the conference. And that's what we are zooming in on right now. We want everybody to know about this conference. It's our first one. And you notice I'm saying first, inaugural, because we want the second and the third and the fourth forever. I always have a conference. Yes, thank you.
Dr. Georgia McDade, thank you so much for being here with me.
Oh,
Anytime
thank
AWA
you.
has anything going on, the Day with Trae is here at your beck and call. You just let us know.
I have a fairly decent memory, so I will let you know.
Absolutely.
Every second Sunday, we read at Columbia City Library, not the second Sunday in May because it's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And remember, we read at the library, but it's also Zoom. Every second Thursday, we read at Third Place Books in Seward Park. And then there are all of these other places. Just yesterday, I read in Bothell. Different people are reading all over. And the Washington, the Western Washington Poetry Network. If you go to their site, you can find reading 7 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Thank
busy,
you
busy,
so
busy.
much. Nice and good readings all over the place. Thank
Everywhere,
you.
everywhere. Poetry, writing, not just poetry. Writing can save your life.
There you go.
Save your life.
Dr. Georgia McDade, thank you so much. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pure pleasure having you with me today.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Y'all, what a great Monday. I'm going to wrap up all of this greatness right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Looking for laughs? Looking for love? Fast Talking Figaro has got you covered. Toe-tapping melodies, lively staging, and colorful costumes. Don't miss The Barber of Seville, May 4th through 19th at McCall Hall. Tickets at seattleopera.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Got to give a huge shout out to my guest, starting our week off right, AP Diaz, Superintendent at Seattle Parks and Rec, giving us all of the details on Swim Seattle. Of course, if you are someone who needs to get those lessons or you know of others, man, share this. This is a great program that Seattle is doing to make sure that we are educating all of y'all out there so you know how to protect yourselves around large bodies of water. And of course, a huge shout out to Dr. Georgia McDade. This is amazing to learn so much about the history of African American Writers Alliance, or AWA, and of course their upcoming Genius Conference. She said the first, but it won't be the last. Make sure y'all go to awa-seattle.org. Get all the information to find out how you can either sponsor, participate, vendor. It sounds like they're looking for all of y'all. So please tap in. Let's make sure this first conference is a great way to get it off right. But also, y'all, I just want to thank you for joining me at the beginning of the week. You know, we're going to continue bringing y'all great guests throughout the week right here on The Day with Trae. And you know, y'all, for me, I want you to be inspired always. Be inspired by those who are on The Day with Trae, because you too can find your way to be a part of the solution as they're showing you that they are, right? Well, I want to bring you some more inspiration tomorrow. And until then, at 11 a.m., y'all, peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.